So what did we see today?
We saw Brad Astra.
I didn't
Yes,
mean
yes, we
Brad
did.
Brastra.
No, it's just Brad Astra. It
Advertisement
rolls off the tongue.
astronaut.
It does. Alright, so we saw Ad Astra, the new Brad Pitt is an astronaut movie.
So what were our expectations going in?
I thought it was going to be pretty good.
I was expecting it to be pretty good.
Me too.
What are our exit interview feelings?
I loved it.
Yeah,
thought it
I
was
also loved
fantastic.
it. Yep,
It was
I
like
agree.
A great movie. You hated it.
No. I'm still processing it, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, but
okay,
doesn't
fair
understand.
enough.
It's too high concept for him. He likes
It's
the
not that
Scorpion
it's
King
too
movies.
high concept. It just, I don't know. I'm still trying to put it all together because I get it. Don't get me wrong, I get it.
No, I'm not actually saying you're dumb.
Let's actually
but
start with negatives because I have a couple things and then that's it.
I feel like the
I have very few
first bit of the
things.
movie drags a little bit, but once he gets to Mars, that's when the movie picks up.
Really? Because you said we were an hour in, and I'm like, I felt like I watched for 20 minutes.
See, I felt like we watched for about 40.
See, this is the kind of movie that like it's really really slow, but it's perfect for it.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of like the style of that kind of procedure with that is the directing and
Yep.
how like it takes place almost entirely in space on different planets and stuff. And what's really really good about that style of filmmaking is that space as a concept is very very large
And
and
vast
everything is
and-
very
yep.
far away from each
It's
other and quiet.
inherently slow.
Yeah.
It's inherently depressing and slow. And like if you look at like Gravity with Sandra Bullock, it's very like high octane. Oh, I gotta save myself. This high blazing music. She's breathing over and over again. It's very distracting.
You know,
Whereas, like,
movie isn't that good actually. Fucking
yeah, that's what
Gravity.
like this is
Yeah.
what Gravity should have been in my
I agree.
opinion. And then
I-
like you got Brad Pitt like flying through space, like through like I won't not spoil where he's going, but he's going through like a big stormous thing and it's very bad and he's trying to survive. But like it's played for drama because of the character moments in that movie, and I really enjoy how that was that instead of playing for drama in the sense of like, oh, we're gonna blast the music now and make it suspenseful. Like it actually is suspenseful. Based
Yeah,
on
no, the
story.
soundtrack. Well, we're talking about negatives. I'm not
I'm
gonna go
sorry.
soundtrack good.
I love the filmmaking.
So I
Okay.
think I kind of have a big negative.
Mm-hmm.
How do I word this without you guys freaking out at me? I can't, so I'll just say it. I really felt like a lot of this movie was like a hodgepodge of other sci-fi movies.
Sure.
That's not necessarily a bad thing, but like there's like a Mad Max sequence, a Gravity sequence, like you said. I felt like I was watching a little bit of Interstellar and a little bit of Blade Runner 2049 in here, and I was just like, I don't know.
Well, the thing about that is, you're right. I noticed a few different little things. When it comes to space movies, for me, I feel like a lot of them share commonalities.
Yeah, some of them
And
can be
some
pretty
of
by the
them-
numbers.
Or very paint by the numbers. But I feel like this was some of the best parts of all those things.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that. It's a positive and negative in the same breath, where it's
Yeah.
like I feel like I'm just watching a collection of those movies, but I also feel like I'm watching like a highlight reel.
But
of
I
those
feel like it's
movies.
reinvented in a way and put together in a way that still differentiates itself and separates it. So I kind of appreciate it. That's the thing for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I
know
feel
what
like,
you're talking
I
about,
feel like
so.
the movie could have done for more of its own identity in some parts. Like there's a sequence in this movie that is straight up Mad Max Fury Road,
See,
but on the moon, to the point where they have dialogue in the movie. Brad Pitt goes, "Here we go again." That's in Fury Road.
It is. When you said that, I'm like, he's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the scenes in Fury Road, like one of the first like chase sequences.
Mm-hmm.
Max goes, "Here we go again," and I was like, "Why am I just watching Fury Road but in space?"
I'd like to fire in. You're definitely right. I'm gonna hit you back on this. I disagree strongly that it quote unquote ripped off Fury Road.
I'm not
in that
saying it
sense.
ripped off Fury Road.
Well, you're saying
it's
that
just,
sequence did.
I sequenced it, and I don't know if I like the fact that I'm thinking about Fury Road in the middle of Ad
Well-
Astra.
Well, Fury Road's one of the best movies
Fury
ever made.
Road's amazing,
so-
Well,
but it's
hold
not
on, let's
the
pipe
movie
down
that Ad Astra is.
Just a second. Here we go again has been said by countless characters in countless movies. I doubt that it's trademarked Mad Max.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's trademark Mad
if you
Max.
said like
it's
"My
just-
world is fire and blood,"
it's
that's a Mad
probably-
Max
It's
quote.
probably more. I've just seen Mad Max so many times that I could probably quote
Yeah.
that movie verbatim. and
Also-
I remember the scene where he goes, "Here we go again."
Exactly, but like on top of that, that entire moon kind of pirate sequence where they're blowing stuff up is maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's not.
So it's like it's not like it's a Mad Max.
Listen, we're talking about negatives. This is like the biggest negative I have is like, wow,
Okay.
there's like a minute and a half where I'm like, why am I just watching Mad Max?
Okay.
I'm not complaining about watching Mad Max. Movie's a banger.
It is a banger. It's just I don't know. It's a weird
I feel like
flavor to have.
I feel like any of the negatives I have are little nitpicky things that I can't really like expand upon. I actually just really enjoyed myself almost the whole time.
I feel like Liv Tyler's character could have been in the movie a little bit more as wife.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because I got at the very end, I'm like, oh, it's him choosing, isolation versus, like, companionship. And
Yeah.
it's been hinted at throughout the movie that Brad
Yeah,
Pitt
very
is
heavily. Very nice.
heavily that he's not particularly close with his wife. And then when it all comes to fruition when he's talking to his dad, and I was like, okay, I get it now. I just feel like she could have been a little bit more of a presence in the movie just to really hammer it home. But, it's still enough that I understand it.
So let's transition to positives then.
Yeah, let's transition to positives. The acting.
Oh,
Oh
I
my
love
God.
Brad Pitt more
Brad
than
Pitt is
anything.
amazing. This is gonna sound really bad, but I wish he didn't narrate as much because those scenes where he's not talking were some of the best. Where he's just like contemplating.
I actually
thinking.
like the inner monologue narration
Me
in this
too.
though.
I thought that was really
It
good.
was hit or miss for me. There was like one time where he starts talking and then the narration kicked in, and I'm like, this reminds me of that scene in The Men Who Stare at Goats, where like he starts to explain, then it's like. George Clooney was telling me that back in the day.
No, but the thing about the narration in this movie, and you know my thing with narration,
yeah,
is that most of the time when he's narrating something, it's underneath the false facade that he puts out to everybody else,
yeah.
and it's like his actual true like thing,
I
and I like that a lot.
Yeah, no, I liked it
'cause
too.
it's-
I think, not a negative, but opinion. I think it would have been cooler if maybe it was like a journal he was keeping on his way to Neptune. It
But
would-
that's like Captain's log. That's more cliche. I like the inner
Well, like,
monologue as opposed to the cliche
I
journal
mean,
thing.
whatever. It's whatever.
Yeah. No, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. So yeah, Brad Pitt did an amazing job.
Ah.
Tommy Lee Jones, I'm amazed for as
He was
little as he got.
Great.
He was really good.
Yeah, he played the senile, crazy old man very well.
And I really loved his big reveal. He's not this megalomaniac. He's just this old tire guy, just hell bent on his mission, and he doesn't even realize that he's harming others.
You know what my favorite thing about that is, and this is what I wanted to say to you before and wanted to keep in the review. He knows aliens exist. He was in Men in Black.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you, Ian.
Very.
Like, why is he even doing the mission? Come on.
I think one of my favorite parts was like the first scene Tommy Lee Jones is in. He's like, "Yeah, I don't love you, son."
that was
That was
amazing.
fucked
Stone
up.
fucking cold.
That was amazing though. Like that,
That-
was such a great dramatic scene.
That
Um,
brings me to my next big positive of I like the themes and messages in this movie a lot. It tackles so many things, and I think it tackles them really well. Isolation, loneliness, companionship, home,
Sins of the
parenthoods,
father.
sins of the father. Like, it tackles all of these things, and I think it does a fantastic job at every single one of them. And normally, if a movie has like multiple concepts that it tries to hit, some of them it tackles better than others, and I
Yeah.
feel like these all got hit
I think-
very, very well.
I think the third act is really when the movie drives it home.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Mud, you've seen No Country for Old Men, right?
I've seen most of it.
Most of it. All right. This is his best performance since that movie, I think.
What, Tommy Lee Jones?
Tommy Lee Jones, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
This might even be better. I know he was barely on screen, but the time that was dedicated to him
Powerful
was so
stuff,
fucking
yeah.
powerful.
He's got one of the best lines in the movie. Too. He's-
love you.
Yeah, he like within seconds, not even minutes, within seconds of being reunited with his son after decades, he tells him to his face, "I don't love you.
I never loved you.
I never loved you, and I don't regret abandoning your mother."
Yeah. Oh, spoilers
And
by the
then
way. I
Brad,
guess.
shut up. And then Brad Pitt's just like,
All right,
too,
Dad,
Dad.
we're gonna take you home now.
yeah. And then he's just like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna go die in space."
That was tremendous.
Captain goes down with the ship.
I didn't realize during the final sequence. I did not realize during the final sequence that the light from Brad Pitt's ship was the light from Brad Pitt's ship, and I was like, "Oh shit!
What if he
fucking
gets rescued by aliens? Then he can say Buongiorno to them. Excuse me. Would have given the movie a 10
Well,
now.
the big light, I'm pretty sure, was the sun.
No, it was blue. It was the engine of his ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be an alien ship, and I was like, "Oh,
That would have
fuck!"
been neat, because
That
it would have
would've
been
been-
right
I
after
think
his dad died. It would have been right a kick in the face.
It would have been a well-deserved kick in the face after what he said to Brad Pitt.
That's
well,
true.
that'd be a very strange way to, because like if aliens are real, they either like he would have known about them and chosen to ignore them, or they just happen to reveal themselves as soon as he dies, like that.
Yeah, it would have been
You know.
cliche.
No, I
looking
feel
back
like that
on
would
it,
have been bad.
It's better
But-
for it that it wasn't, but like in that moment, they perfectly built the tension. I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah, no,
Maybe
it
it
was
was
a
unintentional, but
it was
like,
a nice little it's trope subversion. It's a
Yeah.
nice little trope subversion thing of you see the unknown light and you're like, oh yeah, and then you realize it's a ship once he grabs the SWAT team shield off of the thing and charges
Riot
through.
shield and flies
Charges through. Yeah.
When Brad Pitt rode that nuclear bomb collection of nuclear bombs to Earth, I just wanted it to engulf him and then hard cut to credits.
Yeah, I
Because
was
he
thinking
can't
that too.
ride that shockwave.
I think it would have been more interesting.
If he just fucking died.
Not if he fucking died, but if it was more left to audience interpretation. Does he make
Mhm.
it home? Does he survive? You know?
Maybe that was the ending, but I feel like
I feel like maybe test audiences were
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
yeah. That
Well,
doesn't
yeah,
make any
because you
sense.
get so attached to his character.
You
'Cause
do.
For one, they do a really good job of making him alone, and you're like, well, but I want to be Brad Pitt's friend. The whole time, you're like, you feel so bad. You have all of this, like, especially when his dad goes, "I hate you, fuck off." You're just like, ah, you get such an emotional
Would
attachment
this
to Brad
movie have
Pitt.
been improved
It
if
was
his dad
Danny
was
DeVito,
Danny
yes.
DeVito?
And he goes, "I hate you, fuck off." And it's like you get so emotionally attached to this character, and you just want him to finally be one shred of single fucking happiness.
I love the interpretations of what they think human space travel will be with like lunar bases and Mars bases.
They said
Oh,
they
yeah,
wanted
I
to
like
make it as
that.
realistic as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They really.
It
strove
wasn't
and did
overly
that.
showy. It wasn't like whole civilizations. It was like, here's
Like,
some empty fucking space with a
here's-
military base on it.
Here's the Mars building. It's underground and made of fucking cement. Like,
There's-
I'm pretty sure even the fucking recording room was like cement sound.
With like, no, I think that was it looked like cardboard boxes like stacked up
Yeah.
like fucking in the
that's what they got.
checkerboard pattern because that's what they have. Fuck it.
Do you remember the sequence where he was? It was like this one shot where he took out the data from his dad's ship and transferred it.
Yeah.
When he's pulling out that square thing, that's very reminiscent of when he was killing Hal in 2001 when he's pulling out all the things.
I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah,
That's
that,
really
like
cool.
I saw that shot and I was like, oh, that's from 2001. Like
I
I
mean,
just-
even
instant.
Brad's isolation really reminds me of 2001. Because that's how the
Absolutely.
movie ends: is he defeats Hal and he's stuck on the ship alone, and then he flies into the remote control thing.
I love that too. How like Brad Pitt, for the most part, like he starts out, you think he's a sociopath, and for the most part, he kind of made himself that way, but he's mainly not. Like he's only like
He's just
very
depressed.
yeah, he's
He's
very
just
calm
sad.
and like reasonably like self-contained.
It's like
during
if Ian was an astronaut.
yeah.
I can't. I have bad vision.
No, he's like very reasonably calm and self-contained when he's in crisis situations, like a firefighter, basically.
Like
But like what gets him is like the dramas of like his dad and like the sins of the father and stuff like that, and then like also like the girl, the Liv Tyler that he's interested in.
The
like,
Liv Tyler.
The
the
Liv
Liv
Tyler.
Tyler, yes.
More like dead Tyler, am I right, guys?
Oh, it's the opposite.
Got him.
It's an inverse of Armageddon. We were
Yes.
talking about that on the way over.
Exactly.
Oh, it's very very well put together. The
Yes,
whole,
very
oh,
well
you remember the shot where they're on the Mars base, and then Ruth was in the room with him, and as the sun started to go down when she was walking, she's like, "Come with me," and then the sun started.
Oh,
Oh, that shot's
beautiful.
so good.
Beautiful, and it just goes straight.
Yep.
Pitch black.
So fucking
Fuck
good.
me up, that
When he
was
went
good.
to the dark side of the moon, you could see the and the
It
lights
was
turned on.
great.
Oh.
The
If First
visuals-
Man got nominated for an Oscar for its visuals, I feel like this movie could too.
I think so too.
Like,
I mean, Brad's already
100%.
talking about like Oscar nominations for the movie.
Well,
I
that's
remember
because he's Brad
actually-
Pitt.
I remember way back at the beginning of this year, right after we watched the Oscars, I found an article that was speculating on the Oscars for next year. I hadn't even heard of this movie, and Ad Astra was on the list of Best Picture potentials.
Mhm.
After this, yeah,
Yeah,
I tend to agree.
I could see that.
Yeah.
The
It
Academy
deals
likes
with a
to
lot
nom-
of stuff the Academy likes too.
Yeah, the Academy does like to nominate stuff like that sometimes.
yeah, no,
so.
it was talking about it. It was like Ad Astra is this mysterious Brad Pitt space movie, and I was like,
I
huh.
like Brad Pitt.
And then I forgot about it for forever, and then we saw the teaser for Ad Astra, and I was like, "Oh, that's right." So-
No, I loved this movie though. Actually,
Yeah.
you know, I think we're gonna get into the prime time of movies that don't completely suck ass and disappoint
I
me.
fucking hope this
Oh, I
year
put it
has
on my
been
list.
such a slog.
Well,
So I guess now's the time, guys. Ad Astra, out of 10.
I'm gonna yeet it to the 9.
Yeah, I
Loved
agree.
it.
I loved it as well. I'd have to watch it a second time to potentially give it a 10.
Me
But
too.
I think it is right up there with some of the best movie of the year.
I'm indecisive between 8 and 9, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's great, but 9 to 10 to me is like, these are phenomenal movies, and I don't know. I'm on the fence.
I would put this as a phenomenal movie personally.
I agree.
I'm gonna tentatively give it an 8
Okay.
with the option of rewatching it to give it a 9. Go see Ad Astra.